Chronic inflammation. Low grade, long term, non resolving inflammation characteristic of soft tissue injury. Affect area is re-subjected to injury during the healing. So the chronic inflammation is always low grade and long term. It's very difficult to resolve the inflammation. Characteristic of soft tissue injury. Affected area is re-subjected to injury during the healing process. Means it can again go into the chronic inflammation after healing. Chronic inflammation condition responds to the regular heat, ultrasound therapy, infrared therapy, low level lasers therapy, wax bath, poultice, and rehabilitation together with the imposed rest, padding, strapping, docking, cast, crunches. These all causes chronic inflammation. इधर आओ बात रिकॉर्डिंग रिकॉर्डिंग हो रही है रिकॉर्डिंग हो रही है इधर आओ अरे इधर आके देखो नहीं है कोई फेस पे भाई इधर आओ रिकॉर्डिंग कहाँ से चेक करेंगे इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग रिकॉर्डिंग कहाँ से चेक करेंगे ये यहाँ से मैंने रिकॉर्डिंग दी इसको ये देखो यू आर ये यहाँ से मैंने इसको रिकॉर्डिंग दी अच्छा चल रही है रिकॉर्डिंग है ना अच्छा rehabilitation for these patients who are in the chronic inflammation, physiotherapy, right, uh, and orthosis, means casting and other things. Topical anti-inflammatory agents like non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, steroids, and local anesthesia may be indicated. Inflammation localized protective response elicited by the injury or destruction of the tissue which serves to destroy, dilute, and wall of both the injuries agent and the injuries injected. So in rehabilitation condition we go for certain treatments like physiotherapy and orthosis, which has been explained under these heading, right? Now we talk about the inflammatory response. How the inflammatory response will occur can be provoked by physical, chemical, or biological agents. Means physical trauma or some chemical put down on your skin, you will get injured with that. Or biological agent, if you're eating anything which is a toxic or harmful to your body, including mechanical trauma, right? Mechanical trauma means accidents, right? Or to excessive amount of uh, sunlight like heat stroke, X-rays, radio radio radioactive materials like isotopes, hmm, and corrosive chemicals which burn your skin, extreme of the heat strokes, and cold snow bites, or by infectious agents such as the bacteria, viruses, and other pathogens, microorganisms. Although these infection agents can produce inflammation, inflammation are not synonymous. So in this inflammation is not necessary all the inflammation have a similar presentation. The classic sign of the inflammation are heat, redness, swelling, pain, and loss of function. dollar color robber step, which is in Greek language. Physiological changes that occur during the inflammatory process, right? There are change of the tissues, the uh, morphology, structure of the tissue will change. It will from the normal to the abnormal side. The three major components of the process are change in the caliber of the blood vessels, means blood vessels will dilate, and the oozing, the blood will come out from the vessels. There is an increase in the fenestration, which is a gap on the epithelial cells, and the rate of blood flow through them, the hemodynamic changes, right? The rate of flow will increase at the area of the inflammation. Increase capillary permeability. Capillaries, the blood will come out of the capillary, and due to that there is an exudation and there is a edema at that time. Leukocytic exudation, because the white blood cells will fight with uh, the bacteria or infection which is taking place in that area, and that will accumulate the exudate, right? Then hemodynamic changes means blood changes begin soon after the injury, progress at varying rates according to the extent of injury. Means if the injury is very deep, then there is hemodynamic, means the blood will come over there and try to repair the damages, and more blood will come over there, and more redness you will find in that area. We start with dilation of the arterioles. Arterioles will dilate because needs more circulation to bring platelets and WBCs and RBCs over there to overcome the inflammatory damages. Opening of the new capillaries and venular beds in the area. Capillaries and venules will dilate over there and release more and more blood. This causes an accelerated flow of the blood, accounting for the sign of heat and redness. Because of the accumulation of the blood and flow of the blood, it will give you the impact of heat and redness. Next follows increased permeability of the macro circulation, which permits leakage of the protein-rich fluid out of the small vessels and into the extravascular fluid compartment, accounting for the inflammatory edema. This inflammation will lead to edema. As I have mentioned you in the beginning of this chapter, that in the definition of the inflammation, there is redness, swelling, pain, and heat. Swelling is an edema. And why this edema? Because the exudate is coming out of the capillaries, the blood is coming out of the capillaries, and the exudate is also accumulated in those interstitial tissue, and that will lead to the edema, swelling. Leukocytic exudation occur in the following sequence. White blood cells will accumulate. First, the leukocytes, the white blood cells, move to the endothelial lining of the small blood vessels. At the level of capillary and venules, they are single epithelial cells. They align and they make the endothelial lining of the capillaries. So between the gap between the epithelial cells is known as fenestration, right? And from there the blood will come out. We call it migration, and the line endothelium in a tightly packed formation, pavementing. Eventually, these leukocytes move through the endothelial space and escape into the extravascular space. Immigration. Once they are outside the blood vessels, they are free to move and by chemotaxis are drawn to the site of the injury. Once they are out of the blood, means they come out of the capillaries or venules, they are free to move in at the space of interstitial tissue. And the chemotaxis are drawn to the site of the injury. All the cells who is going to repair and fight against the injury and against the bacteria will accumulate in that area. Accumulation of the neutrophil and macrophages at the area of inflammation H2 neutralize foreign particles by phagocytosis. Yeah, means neutrophil and the macrophages, they engulf all the foreign particles and we call it phagocytosis. Chemical mediator of the inflammatory process include variety of the substance originating in the plasma and cells of uninjured tissues and possibly from the damaged tissues. These mediators will come out from the blood circulation and at the site of injury or trauma. The major kind of the mediators are vasoactive amines. They are protein in nature, such as the histamine, and serotonin, which is one of the neurotransmitters. These are known as the vasoactive amines, histamine and serotonin. Then plasma, endopeptidases, these are the enzymes that comprise three interrelated systems. The, the kinin system that produce bradykinin, the complement system that produce protein that interact with the antigens. So these bradykinin, they react with the antigens, interact with the antigens of the body. Antibody complex and mediate immunological injury and inflammation, and the system clotting system that increase vascular permeability and chemotoxic activity for leukocytes. On the third step, the third major kind of mediators are the prostaglandins, which are reproduce several aspects of the inflammatory process. You know, prostaglandins they release from when there is a damage in the edema of the vessels. There is release of the phospholipids, and from the phospholipids, they were converted into arachidonic acid, and then arachidonic acid will convert into thromboxane and prostacyclin, and then COX-1 and COX-2. So then neutrophil is produced, lymphocyte factors comes, other mediators such as the slow reacting substances of anaphylaxis and endogenous pyrogens. These pyrogens they produce inside the body. Then hormonal response comes. These are all the hemodynamic response, what we have discussed up till now. Then hormonal response. Some hormones such as cortisols have an anti-inflammatory action that limits inflammation to local reaction, while others are pro-inflammatory, right? So cortisol is anti-inflammatory, which is released from the suprarenal gland above the kidney, and action that limits inflammation to local reaction. So inflammation is confined in that small area. Due to the cortisol, it won't allow it to spread in surrounding, while other are pro-inflammatory. Thus the system, the endocrine system has a regulatory effects on the process of inflammation that it can, so that it can balance the beneficial in the body attempt to recover from injury. So actually, we understand inflammation is a defensive mechanism of the body against the external stimuli, which can be a bacteria, virus, or any chemical or foreign body. So body try to fight with the foreign bodies, or foreign body can be a bacteria, virus, or some foreign bodies, right? So cellular changes in inflammation. This is one of the heading. Migration of the neutrophil brings these inflammatory cells in the close contact with the endothelium, addition of the platelet results in the release of the mediator of inflammation and coagulation. Fibrin strains the first sign of the clot formation. So the process will start cellular changes, and this process will help to heal the injury which has taken place through addition of the platelet at the site of the injury. Where there is an injury is happening in the intima of the blood vessel or the tissue, the platelet try to adhere, attach to the intima of the vessels, and then fibrin will stains are formed. Fibrin stains means thread-like structure is formed. The first sign of clot formation. Pavementing of leukocytes is mediated by addition molecule by the mediator of inflammation release from platelet, and leukocytes, RBCs, and WBC cells. So there is a series of certain inflammatory process is taking place with certain steps. First, migration of the neutrophil and bringing the inflammatory cell contact with the endothelium, which is damaged, and then addition of the platelet at that site to close that injury. Then there is a formation of pavement, means base formation of leukocytes, WBC, is mediated by addition molecules. These are the special molecules. They adhere, attach, stick, activated by the mediator of inflammatory release of platelets, and platelets are released and leukocytes and WBCs, red blood cells, are released. Right? In this way, cellular changes in inflammation. Then we talk about the immunity. In biology, immunity is the balanced state of having adequate biological defense to fight infection, disease, or other unwanted biological invasion, while having adequate tolerance to avoid allergy and autoimmune diseases. Immunity means defense mechanism of the body. Now we are moving from first line of defense is skin, second line of defense is white blood corpuscles, which are of 6 types: monocyte, eosinophil, basophil, neutrophil, plasma cell. So these agranulocytes and granulocytes, they are the second line of defense. And now we are talking about the third line of defense, which is immunity. And immunity comes from the immunoglobulin. There are certain proteins available in our blood circulation, like fibrinogen, albumin, globulin. So globulin is responsible for the immunity. There are 6 types of globulins: IgG, IgD, IgE, IgM, IgA. And there are 2 types of immunities are there. One is innate immunity and one is adaptive immunity. Innate means with birth you will get from your mother. And adaptive means when you are living in an environment where there are a lot of foreign viruses and bacteria and other parasites and organisms, the body will adapt and produce the antibodies against those infectious organisms. It is the capability of the body to resist harmful microorganisms or viruses from entering it. Immunity involves both specific and non-specific components. The non-specific component acts either as a barrier or eliminator of the wide range of the pathogen, irrespective of antigenic specificity. So non-specific, they antigens, antibodies, they become a barrier for the antigens which comes from outside of the body, from the environment, and it will fight without respect of who are their enemy. Other components of the immune system adapt themselves to each new disease encounter and are able to generate pathogen specific immunity. And this immunity, other component of immune system adapt themselves to each new disease encountered and are able to generate pathogens specific immunity. Means specific immunity means specific cell will produce, like T killer cell, or you need IgG, IgM, IgE, IgD, IgA. Which one, which immunoglobulin do you require at that? If there is a superficial infection, superficial attack on the skin, then IgA will come. If an infection in the mother's in the mother uterus, and that infection is carried or transmit to the baby, then IgM will produce specific immunity, immunoglobulin M. That M will fight against those organisms which is produced in the amniotic sac, amniotic fluid, which is harming to the baby. Then mother blood will produce immunoglobulin M. The basic premises for the division of immune system into innate and adaptive. Innate means by birth from the parents, and adaptive means from the environment. Extension. Extension. So the basic premises for division of immune systems into innate and adaptive components comes down to the innate system being composed of primitive bone marrow cells that are programmed to recognize foreign substance and react. So this immune system, the bone marrow will produce the special cells which fight against those foreign invaders, which is virus or bacteria, right? To fight and the bone marrow which is present in the long bones like humor, tibia, fibula, humerus, in hand, ulnar radius, they produce these immunoglobulins which fight against the foreign invaders. And these cells recognize foreign substance and react. Versus the adaptive system being composed of the more advanced lymphatic cells that are programmed to recognize self-substance and do not react. Which we adopt means at the time of the entry of bacteria or viruses in the body, because we are living in an unhygienic condition, we are living in such a condition where there is chances of infection. So because we have to live in the environment forever. So in that environment, if you are not moving yourself out of that environment, then your body will adapt, and we call it adopt component, and that will produce a lymphatic cells that are programmed to recognize self substances. They recognize their own and they do not react. They are not react against your own cell, but they react against the outside cells. The reaction to foreign substance is etymologically described as inflammation. These reactions of the immune system, which fight with the external foreign organisms, this clash between these two will produce a condition of inflammation, meaning to set on fire, while the non-reaction to self-substance is etymologically described as a Immunity meaning to exempt, right? We call it immunity. The interaction of these two components of immune system create a dynamic biological environment. So where health can be seen as an active physical state, where what is self is immunologically spared and what is foreign is inflammatorily and immunologically eliminated. When we define to the health, health means can be seen as an active physical state, means you are physically fit and your body function, physiological function is very balanced. What is self immunologically spared and what is foreign is inflammatory. If immune, immune system does not harm to your own body, but when the foreign particles will come, when the foreign material will come, when the bacteria virus will come, then there is a reaction which is known as inflammation and immunological elimination. Extending this concept, we call it disease, then can arise when what is foreign cannot be eliminated or what is self is not spared. If these cells, our own defense cells, they cannot very well fight against the foreign invaders, and they are weak. It means it's a disease. And if they eliminate them, then we call it health. So this is the definition of health and disease. So this is all about this chapter. You go through it, and if you have any query, you can ask me, or you can have a talk to me, or you can come on uh, Zoom or any other source where you can have your, I can resolve your any query which you have got during this lecture number 16. Right? Thank you very much.